Okay, so this is Bridge of the Gods. What an awesome name. It's like out of a Marvel movie or something. This crosses the Hood River and will mark the end of Oregon and the beginning of Washington. A little precarious because there's no pedestrian lane or anything, so you're just walking down the bridge. Try not to get hit by a car, and try not to drop your phone. This is the deck. So I don't know if you want to look down either, because it's just through great. I mean, you're not going to fall, obviously, but you just can see right through the bottom of the deck of the bridge all the way down to the water. So it gives quite a sensation. This is a very cool bridge, though. Just feels weird walking across it. Anyway, weather's holding. It's cloudy. A little bit cool, not too bad. I think those people that just passed were getting a little freaked out. I mean, if you look down, it's quite the sensation being this high above the water. And here it is. I got another 20 feet of Oregon left. And then we start hiking in Washington. 2 states down, 1 to go. And there's a sign, "Welcome to Washington." And we are now halfway across the river. We're now in Washington. Here is Washington. Welcome to Washington. So Pacific Crest Trail heads off to the right towards Stevenson and on up. Unfortunately, it's closed up the trail a little bit because of the fire. So I got to do some detouring. Talk about the detour later. And unfortunately, I got to turn around. But unfortunately, there used to be a sign that said "Bridge of the Gods." Da da da. But I guess it got damaged in a winter storm this last year, so they're building a new one. So no sign Bridge of the Gods, but that was Bridge of the Gods crossing the Hood River. Quite the experience, all part of the trail. All right, we'll talk to you later. Okay, made it back over to Oregon. So I went over the Bridge of the Gods, touched the Pacific Crest Trail, came back. Well, the Pacific Crest Trail goes over the Bridge of the Gods, so turned around, came back, because I'll be headed towards Portland and Vancouver, Washington tomorrow to get around the next stretch that's closed by the fires. So we'll talk about that later, but that was quite the experience walking across the Bridge of the Gods, because it's all metal, it's all open grading. I handle heights pretty well, but it got my heart pumping there a little bit, just walking that open grade, and you look down and you just see, the Hood River probably 70 feet, 80 feet below you. There's not much room on that. There's barely enough room for 2 cars to pass. Then you add a pedestrian or, on either side. It gets a little tight up there. And then a couple places, as the cars are going, the bridge is creaking and rattling. And you're wondering if it's missing a few rivets or something. Obviously not, but it was the experience walking across there, actually twice. But that's one of the highlights of the trail, even if it gets your heart pumping a little bit. Anyway, Bridge of the Gods, end of Oregon, beginning of Washington. We'll see you down the trail. Okay, here's a little monument similar to the beginning and end of the trail. Canada, 495 miles. Getting closer. Yeah, we're 120 feet above sea level. So I made a mistake when I said Sead Valley was the low point of the trail. Obviously, Sead Valley is like 1,000 feet or 1,200 feet above sea level. This is the lowest point of the trail, because I think the Hood River is like 77 feet above sea level. Cascade Locks they have listed as 120 feet, but when you cross the bridge, you're like 77 feet above sea level. So that's the low point of the trail. I made a mistake when I said Seed Valley was. I think that's the biggest descent and steepest ascent on the trail. So I just assumed it was a low point. But it's not. Cascade Locks is. So Forester Pass, highest point on the trail up in the Sierras. Cascade Locks, lowest point on the trail here on the Hood River. All right, see you down the trail. Okay, how lucky am I? So my resupply package for the next 5 days and some cold weather gear and that was marked as delivered, but they didn't have it at the end. And we checked all around. She called every employee, and they didn't have it. Post office was closed on Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, I get into Cascade Locks after my dental appointment like at 5:30. Post office closed. So now I gotta like go up the Hood River and get more resupplies. So I just as a long shot checked the other hotels in town to see maybe they got it delivered there somehow. But you know, obviously that never panned out. As I was walking by the post office, I go, I'll go inside. Maybe I can get a phone number or something. Maybe I can find a Monday, even though I'm going to be up the trail, and send it home and get it redelivered or something. There were some people in the back. They opened up and they found my package. So I got my package here. That just that saves me like 4 hours now. Now I don't have to go to Hood River. I don't have to resupply. I don't have to go to the gear shop. I don't have to repackage all my food. That just saves me hours and hours today. This just made my day. So once again, the trail just provided. Outstanding. Okay, how happy am I? Got my resupply box. I got, now with the stuff I picked up at Walmart yesterday, I got easily 7 days of food, maybe a little bit extra. I got a bunch of extra bars. So I got 7 days of food. I got my gloves and some extra tent stakes and some rope. So I got some extra gear I needed. I'm a happy camper. Given that we're going to be going up a little bit south of where I thought we were going to go, I'm just trying to look at the map. It's about through the whole Goat Walks Wilderness and all the way up to Snoqualmie Pass. It's almost 140 miles, just shy of that. So that's going to take me probably 7 days. Washington gets a little bit more rugged. So, you know, Northern California, you start speeding up. Oregon, you know, probably has some of the best trails and the easiest terrain, you know, flat and easy for, you know, relatively. So you do your best miles in Oregon. And I was doing, you know, 25-mile days, sometimes 23, sometimes 27. But I think that's going to pull back a bit in Washington. So I'm planning on 20-mile days in Washington. And we'll see. Maybe I'll end up with a little bit of extra food and I can adjust. But I'd rather have a little bit too much than run out. So I'm a happy camper. I'm just, I think I've got my gear pretty much all dried off and cleaned up. Got my food all sorted. Starting to do my maps. Now I'll just have to pack everything up and get ready for tomorrow. That saved me a lot of time having to, you know, be able to get this resupply package and get the extra gear I was looking for. So I'm happy. I'm in good shape, and we'll be getting ready for the trail tomorrow. Right now I'm kind of just relaxing a little bit, giving the body some rest. You know, I learned from that 38-day stretch without taking a zero. That's hard on the body. And, you know, my feet are hurting, and, you know, my knees were hurting, my shoulders were hurting. So I think, you know, every 10 days or so, it's good to take a rest. And it's been since Shelter Cove, since I had a break. So that's about 9 days ago. So this is a good rest. And I think the next one will probably be up at Snoqualmie Pass. I don't know. I'm looking forward to the Washington Alpine Club, but we'll talk about that when I get there. All right. We'll see you down the trail. So here's how you know you're staying at a PCT hiker hotel, especially after a rainstorm. All the gear's out, drying out. I was doing all that today, getting everything dried out and cleaned up. So that's a typical PCT hiker hotel. Look who I ran into at the Columbia Gorge Hotel, or Columbia Gorge Inn. I've been like 2 weeks behind these guys I started April 15th. So I've been a couple weeks behind. And
messed around enough, and now you're here.
You're taking some adventures, going off on side trips. So anyway, this is
Little Chap
and
Hollywood Hammer.
Hammer. All right, and well, now it's Hollywood.
Yeah.
All right. Well, nice to meet you guys.
Sandra, all this guy's talking about how wonderful his wife is.
She's supporting me like crazy, but she follows you guys, and just wanted to say hi and
we appreciate you watching and for the support.
Yeah. So thanks for doing a little shout out to my wife.
Sure.
And hey, good luck on the trail. Okay, so I'm packing up my food for the next 7 days, and Sandra does she does all my food prep for when I get resupplied mailed. So she mixes up my dinners. She does the peanut butter and Nutella mix, and she does my breakfast mix, which is like a Carnation instant breakfast and Nido whole milk powder and a peanut butter powder. But now, check this out. She puts in a bag every morning, and I get these morning affirmations to start my day off right. So that's a sweet little touch. Way to get a little bit of home out in the trail and start my day off good. So thanks, Sandra. Love you. Okay, so day 132, close out. 0 day in Cascade Locks. Wow, I'm just noticing, once I wash my hair, I got some big hair. Man, this hasn't been such a big hair since for a good 20 years or something. On the trail, it's all dirty and matted down, so I don't really notice it. Anyway, 0 in Cascade Locks. I got super lucky and just with the timing on that, and got my resupply packet, so I'd have to go back to Hood River and get additional food and gear. So that helped. Spent the day really just relaxing, and eating, and kind of going through my gear and getting everything clean and dry, and set up for the next leg in Washington, last state. I did cross over, Bridge of the Gods. I'm not going to continue the trail up there because of the next fire closure for the Williams mine fire. The PCT just announced an alternate route around that, but it involves a lot of, walking on forest roads, and, it'd be a navigational challenge, and doesn't really interest me. It's more road walking than trail walking, probably by like a 3-to-1 margin or something like that. So I'm going to continue with the plan, especially since I got a ride with 2 different trail angels to get on just at the kind of the beginning of the Goat Rocks Wilderness, which is kind of the highlight of Washington. And that's kind of 30 miles south of what the old recommendation from the PCTA was. So it's just north of the fire closure. I did check out the fires, this one, and there's a couple in northern Washington. They're like 35% contained. So that they're getting a handle on them. Hopefully with the cooler weather and the rain that we've been having, the ones in northern Washington will clear up, or they'll get a handle on those, and they'll be able to reopen the trail. That's what I'm hoping. But I did spend some time mapping out Washington. I've got the next 2 resupplies set up, and that'll get me within like 175 or 80 miles from the border. But I can't really do beyond that because of the fires, and I don't know what's going to be open and closed and where to send resupply to. So I got a good chunk all planned out, and we'll have to see how the fires go for that last little stretch. The other thing, just kind of at the end of the day, my phone's been kind of flaking out. When it gets damp and with the rain and that, and my pants get wet, and the phone's always in and out, all day long, it starts acting up, and it's hard to switch between apps, and sometimes I just have to put it in a backpack pocket and let it dry out for a half hour, an hour before I can even use it. So I've been dealing with that a little bit. Just recently, I've been having problems charging it, which is kind of scary. It won't fast charge anymore, so I've got to resort to slow charging, and it won't charge when it's turned on, so I got to turn it off and charge it at night. And anyway, that's concerning, and it's no longer recognizing my flash drives. So getting video content back to Sandra is tough. I mailed her the last 5 or 6 days that I had on flash drives before it stopped recognizing the flash drives. Now I have to do things on the Google Drive in the cloud, but that we were having problems with that. So I think we got that worked out, but it was hit and miss. So it's about 11 o'clock, and still trying to catch up at least to like a week ago. And that's probably going to be the best I'm going to be able to do until next time I have internet access. And I'll be able to upload a few more. So this explains some of the delay between what you're seeing and where I'm at on the trail. We're not professionals here. This is low production value. Oh, I did meet. There's a couple other hikers, Lil Chap and Hollywood, also known as Hammer. I was kind of following them a little bit before I started the trip. Them and Roadrunner, and they started the trail 2 weeks before I did. So Sandra kind of got into watching them because they were always like 2 weeks ahead of me. So she'd watch them and she'd know what I was going to experience coming up. Well, they took Roadrunner. I think is still way ahead of me, but Lil Chap and Hollywood, I saw that I was kind of closing the gap because I'd seen some trail registers. They were like a week ahead of me, then 2 days ahead of me. So I just ran into them here at the at Cascade Locks. They're staying at the same hotel that I'm staying at. So I was talking to them a little bit, and we did a little video. Thank you to Sandra, since she's kind of a fan of theirs. They're well, I haven't really seen Hollywood's. Lil Chap's is a much higher production quality than mine are. He's a little bit more polished and has more experience doing this. But my primary goal is hiking the trail, and kind of capturing the experience on video is a little bit secondary. But I'm doing the best I can. I guess that's it. The first trail angel, Kevin's gonna pick me up tomorrow at 7:45. We're gonna head over to Vancouver, Washington, and then hand me off to another trail angel, Lola, and she's gonna take us up to the trailhead to get back on the trail at the beginning of Goat Rocks Wilderness. So that's the plan. Excited to get into Washington. Depending on where the fires are on that, I might be within like 400 miles of the border. That might be as little as 3 weeks. I'd say 3 weeks to a month. We'll see how things go in Washington. But the end's in sight. Kind of excited about that. Kind of I'm enjoying the trail, but I see the weather turning. It's getting wetter and it's getting colder. So I'm anxious to complete the trail, not because I want it to be done, but I do want to finish before it gets cold and wet. Definitely before it starts snowing. That makes sense. So I'm still kind of trying to do things quickly without missing out on anything. So anyway, that's where we're at, and we'll see you tomorrow.